Good evening. It's June 6th, and this is Real Estate with Mr. G. And my name is Chris Gargiulo. And I apologize, I wasn't doing my podcast for about a month. I was a little bit under the weather, had a couple of procedures done, but I'm back. I'm doing well, knock on wood. And I'm back and going to continue with my video podcast. All right, so I also have my blog, Real Estate with Mr. G .blog, where I post a minimum of 5 articles per week and about 3 videos that keep you up to date with the real estate industry, also the mortgage industry, the economy, and it that will make you a well-informed buyer or lister of your home, okay? So that's what I do. And I am a licensed referral specialist, also the associate broker of Realty Connect, where I could put you together with a top leading agent in the locale that you either want to buy or list a property. And that could be anywhere within the 50 states of the United States of America, okay? So I could consult you, we could talk, we could discuss, but the actual showing of properties or listing of properties will be done by these leading producers in that area that you're searching. So you just go to my website, and it's right here, realestatewithmrg.us. You put in some information, and you'll be greeted to up to 3 agents within that area. And if you feel comfortable with one of them, you work with them. And there is no additional charge for you to use the service, okay? It's not like an extra point is added on. No, I get paid at closing, okay? So it's a great service. You're actually getting 2 agents for the price of 1. Again, my license is active. It's not, in storage somewhere, and I could help you. So let me show you a little video that kind of explains it to you that I put together. Hope you like it. So I hope that summarized what I do. And again, I think it's the best situation because you're working with top agents. Everybody has a friend, a neighbor in the business, and not knocking anybody who's doing it part-time, but it's really a full-time job where you actually have to invest a lot of money. Going to become a real estate agent, you're going into business really for yourself. Even though you're going to work under the umbrella of a real estate firm, you really are in business for yourself, and you have to do your own marketing. You have to do your own publications of your newsletters, if you're doing that, your videos, your business cards, your brochures, your newsletters. And there's a big cost with that. And those who are truly successful, they put lots of money into that. And plus this continuing education, laws change. There's a lot of changes going on now within the real estate field because of the lawsuit, where sellers were saying, why should I pay the buyer's agent's fee, for having representation? And which is sort of a valid point. But nonetheless, without getting deep into that, there's a lot going on in the real estate industry, and you have to be on top of it. So you really want to work with an established individual, someone who's really vested. Let me say that again, vested within the industry. And with Realty Connect, we can help you with that. All right. So let's see, what is our topic question for today? And this is Nicole, I believe, from San Diego.
Hi, Mr. G. Hope you're doing fine. I am on the fence trying to decide if it is better to rent a property or purchase one. With your infinite wisdom in real estate industry, could you give me some advice on this matter? I watch your weekly video podcast with my family constantly and find them highly informative and fun. Keep it going strong.
Thank you, Nicole. Thank you very much for that nice sentiment, and I appreciate that. And that's a good question. Is it better to rent or buy a property? And before I start putting out my PDF file, it's really a decision that you have to make. No one else could really. I mean, I could advise you on that, and this will advise you and tell you about the benefits of owning and some of the benefits of renting. You have to decide what works best for you. Okay. There are some pluses about renting. One thing with renting is like whenever there's a problem, you just call up the landlord or the property management company. I have a link in my sink. The air conditioning is not working. The roof is caving in, and you're not shelling out money for that. And hopefully that landlord or that property manager is quick to come and fix that property. All right. So if you're a type of person, you're always on the go and you don't want to be burdened with those things that go wrong with updating a property and making sure it's run smoothly, as for air conditioning, heating, and so forth, then maybe you want to be a renter. And if you are going to be a renter because you're not going to be building up that generational wealth, then hopefully you are investing in other instruments, right? Whether it's the stock market, treasury notes, bonds, to build up your self-worth. Okay. But again, I could advise you, another real estate agent could advise you, a mortgage officer could advise you, but you really have to sit down and say, what is best for me? Okay. Because there are people who decided to rent their whole life, and they're wonderful people. All right. They're content, they're good, and that's their thing. All right. So with that being said, let me put this up on the screen. And I might there we go. So is it better to rent or to buy? So you're asked a lot, is it worth trying to buy a home right now? And what's holding back a lot of people, number one, are the super high prices of homes. During the pandemic, they really went high. And they are not increasing in price as fast as they did in that pandemic era, but they still are moving up slowly. Some places where there's been a lull in the market, where because of the high home prices and high mortgage rates, um, buyers are not that quickly, or will not as quick pick up a property, right? They'll say, all right, that looks nice, but let me think about it. So homes are staying longer on the market. And at some situations, those homeowners had to lower their price. Okay? It's not everywhere, but it's happening in some areas. But still, and this is the bottom line, even though they might have dropped the price a little bit, they're still, if they bought their home prior to the pandemic, they're still getting a nice profit when they're selling their home. But with high mortgage rates and high prices, now buyers are being a little bit more uh, hesitant to put an offer on the house unless it's truly perfect for them. During the pandemic, people were buying homes without even doing a home inspection. Okay. But now buyers are taking their time. So even though a whole lot of people are not putting their homes on the market, all right, but because they're not selling, there are more on the there are more in the market right now because these other ones are not moving. So where houses during the pandemic, lasted 2 or 3 weeks on the market, now they're lasting longer. So they're lasting longer than other houses are coming up on the market. So there are more homes on the market now to be purchased, but people are still being careful. Okay. So it says over here, you should really buy a home when you're ready and able to do it, and if the timing is right for you. All right. So it's really a personal matter, and it's case by case. So it might feel like a safer bet today, and in some areas might even be less expensive month to month than owning. It can really cost you more over time. Now, here's the difference now when it comes to building equity in your home. So, in fact, a recent Bank of America survey found that 70% of aspiring homeowners worry about what long-term renting means for their future. And they're not wrong. Owning a home may seem out of reach, but if you make a plan now and steadily work for it, home ownership comes with serious long-term financial benefits. And the biggest one is home ownership builds wealth over time. It's a step towards building future wealth. Why? Home prices typically rise over time, which means the longer you wait, the more expensive it is to buy. And even in some markets where home prices are softening today, the overall long-term trend speaks for itself. So we'll look at this nice little graph down here, and we see, and this is starting just using a base year of 1988. And here are homes, all right? We have a little dip in some areas. And, to really understand, we have to look at the economy, what's going on. Actually, this around 2011, 2012, that's when we had the real estate bubble burst. And that was a big problem, and home prices fell. All right. A lot of homes went to foreclosure and short sales. But after that point, it's been a steadily build up. Okay. And here we have the last few days where it's really high up here. We have a couple of dips. Okay. And we're having a dip right now because, as I said, homes are staying longer on the market and sellers saying, well, maybe I have to lower the price. So as home values rise, so does your equity when you're a homeowner. That's the difference between your home, what your home is worth, and what you owe. So with every mortgage payment, the equity grows over time. That becomes part of your net worth. So as you're paying down your mortgage, right? Make it very simple. You buy a house for 100,000. You put down, let's say, to make it easy, 10%. So you finance 90,000. All right, now you brought it. So at that point, you had $10,000 worth of equity. As you're bringing down that balance, let's say it's down to 80,000. Now you have 20,000. But let's say the value of that home has increased to 120. Well, now you have $40,000 worth of equity, and that's a good thing, right? You could borrow against that, or when you sell, you're going to be making a nice little profit. So the total average homeowner's net worth is nearly 40 times greater than a renter. And here we're going to show you the graph on that. Right? So they show here homeowners. This is the net worth. I mean, this is an average. Here they're saying 396,500. Not everybody has that amount of homeowners net worth. But nonetheless, I mean, it's a big difference from renters who have 10,410. Now, they don't have any homeowners equity. This probably savings that they have, or if they have any type of investment. So it's a big, big difference. So Forbes says, while renting might seem like the less stressful option, right? We said you don't have to make repairs to the house. Owning a home is still a cornerstone of the American dream and a proven strategy for building long-term wealth. So the biggest downside of renting is that for decades, while home prices have been rising, rent has gone up too. And while rent has held rather steady more recently, history shows that the overall trend is up and to the right. That makes saving for a home more complicated than ever before. And here's to look at this graph below. So here they show again the increase in rents. It's been steadily growing up. Now here we have a little dip from 24 to 25, but it's not much of a dip. The kind of financial uncertainty has a real impact. In the same Bank of America survey, 72% of potential buyers said they worry rising rent could affect their current and long-term finances. So whether you rent or own, they said the question is whose mortgage do you want to pay? Well, if you're renting, you're actually paying the owner's, the landlord's mortgage, right? And he's or she is receiving that increase in homeowners' equity. So think of it this way. Renting means your money is gone once you pay it. Owning means your payment builds equity, like a saving accounts you can live in. All right? And down here, I highlight the word generational wealth. This is wealth that, there comes a time when we have to go to our final reward, and that wealth then is passed on to our children or whoever we heir our properties to, and that stays within the family. Okay? And again, not even thinking about heiring the property, but it's also with whether or not you could use that equity to, if you want to make improvements on your home, you want to put in new windows, you want to put in a new roof, and you take out an equity loan against it, and you're improving your house, and just the improving of the house increases the value and the home equity, right? It works all together. So bottom line, renting may feel more doable today, but over time it would cost you more without helping you build anything for your future. Now, of course, maybe my next podcast should talk about ways to work with higher mortgage rates, higher home prices, what you could do to um, bypass that and get into home ownership. I mean, the biggest thing is try to save as much money as you can. Um, if the homes that you want are out of your price range, maybe aim a little bit lower. The most important thing is to own, right? So if you're buying a home that's a little bit less than what you want, it didn't have the pool, didn't have the in-ground pool, but building that equity is so important. So maybe in 4 or 5 years, you'll buy that house with the pool in it, okay? Because you bought a home, real estate values usually go up, and you'll have a nice size profit for your next home. You could put down a larger down payment on it and have a smaller mortgage payment. So there's a lot of ways to go about it. So it's soul searching. You have to speak to a realtor. You could speak to me. You could speak to a mortgage loan officer and see what steps are involved. The mortgage loan officer would be the best because, again, if the home that you want is out of your price range, but the reason why it's out of your price range, you have to bring down your debt. Um, the loan officer could give you the advice on what lines of credit to pay down first, so you could get that higher uh, credit rating. All right, they will help you with that in their best way. Some credit agencies post faster to the credit reporting agencies than others, and I've worked with clients who, in 1 month, they weren't able to purchase a home, and with the advice they got from the mortgage loan officer, they were able to purchase within the next month. Some took about 3 months, but they will help you, all right, and they will show you different products that you could use. When I say products, different mortgage programs that will work best for you. Okay. All righty then. So let me show you a nice little video that hopefully will summarize what we just discussed.
Have you ever wondered if buying a home is truly worth it in today's market? With soaring home prices and high mortgage rates, renting seems like a safe haven. Yet, relying solely on renting could actually cost you more in the long run. A recent survey revealed that 70% of aspiring homeowners have concerns about long-term renting. Renting might seem easier now, but owning a home builds wealth over time and offers stability. Homeownership isn't just about shelter, it's an investment in your future financial health. As home prices rise, so does your equity, enhancing your net worth significantly over the years. Did you know that the average homeowner's net worth is nearly 40 times greater than a renter's? While renting guarantees lower monthly payments, it also means paying someone else's mortgage. So take the first step towards financial freedom. Plan your path to homeownership today.
Okay, wasn't it a nice, pleasant video? It was really nice, wasn't it? Okay. Now, you could go to, if you see down here, okay, realestateWithMrG.blog/resource-materials. We just got in the new summer buyer guides, right? This is the summer 2024 edition, hot off the press. Came out about 2 days ago. With advice on what to do when you're buying a home. And if you are selling a home, it gives you information as well. And these are updated quarterly. So this is fresh new hot off the presses information that you could use when you're thinking about selling or purchasing. But then you call me. All right. You email me, you contact me, you wave me down, and you say, I'm ready to purchase. Now, what they also did, and it's on that same page, is the first time a guide to your first home, and that has been updated. This is the 2025 edition, and it's very helpful for first time home buyers. Okay, so good stuff. All right. Now I'm hearing from our producer Isabella that we might have a famous person in the audience. Is that true?
Mr. G, great news. We have a celebrity in the audience. Originally from St. Petersburg, Russia, this lady practiced acrobatics in her studio apartment. Not making much money with her act there, she migrated to America where she performed on the Joe Franklin and Ed Sullivan shows. It is said she was the inspiration for Curly from the Three Stooges and made public service announcements on television warning parents on the dangers of feeding their children too much sugar. Ladies and gentlemen, Zelda Rabinowitz.
Thank you, Zelda, for stopping by in the audience, and I appreciate that. That was very nice of you. So, all right, that's our podcast for today. And, in the next few weeks, there's going to be a lot to talk about. I mean, it's an ever-changing economy, and we need to discuss that and see what's going on. Might invite some guests in from closing companies, mortgage companies, and see how to go about these changing times, all right? So in the meantime, be nice to each other, be kind, and always remember the greatest power we have is to love, and the greatest gift is each other. And we'll see you next week.